Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Insurance Questions Podcast. I'm your host, Eddie Buffalo. There's Sassy Sarah and Donnie Lowe. Welcome to episode 67 on May 2nd, 2024. 22 more days to your birthday, Al. Yep, come and let me know what you want. Um, what day is it, guys? What do we do on Thursdays, Donnie Lowe?
Annuity conversations.
A nudity conversation? You can't have nudity on this thing.
We need
No.
to put your brain through a cleaner before we get on the podcast.
Then we'd
Exactly.
be boring. Who would watch us then?
No,
Nobody.
Eddie, you have so much entertainment in your body. You don't need to go to the gutter.
Bonk, chicka, bonk, 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 chicka, bonk, bonk.
That's exactly what. Anyways.
So I got to tell you, so Sassy Sarah was here yesterday with her son Aiden, and I have a big screen TV watching our previous episodes. And he goes, "You're watching yourself?" And Sarah's like, "How y'all think we get them big numbers? It's just Eddie. It's just Eddie doing it." How's everybody doing today?
Great.
I want to know.
I gotta taste it. Let me tell you what, girl, it's so good. It's like a porch swing on the 4th of July. It's just fabulous.
I'm glad our schedule went back. We have Fridays off at the firm. So it's either
nice.
catch-up day
Nice.
or I can get things done. So I'm like,
I like mustard. I don't like ketchup. No. But boom.
yeah, you're horrible. Anyways, like, subscribe, follow, do all the things on all the places. So there you go.
All the antics and comments by Sassy Sarah, Donnie Lowe, and Eddie Buffalo are purely for entertainment purposes. So God bless.
Perfect.
So Sarah's got a bunch of good annuity questions for you, Donnie. Did you do your homework? Are you ready to go?
Let's rock and roll.
And I had to write them down, so I remembered them.
And by the way, Donnie does have new glasses. He looks pretty fancy.
Fancy.
Kind of look like a teacher now, Donnie. Are you
Fancy schmancy.
Professor Lowe? I'm writing that down.
Hold on, your
Professor
glasses
Lowe.
are very similar in style. I'm just
You
saying
know, I
that.
just noticed that. Luckily, mine are a little more round.
Mine are all plastic because I don't like the whatchamacallit, the metal. I mean, Donnie wanted the metal on those glasses because the metal frames, those are made out of gold because he lives in Williamsville, Amherst area. Just no. So do you have to use a different polishing compound for those glasses frames, or you can just use your regular stuff?
I use what I shine the gold bricks with. The same material.
It was real smooth, Don. You're pretty good at this whole interweb thing. Let me tell you what. You're pretty damn good at this, Donnie. Yeah, let me tell you what.
Okay, so back to the annuity section.
What is your first question?
My first question. Okay, so I have 2 children. My son is.
I thought you only had Aiden.
No, and you know that. Whatever. I have a 12-year-old son and
that she knows of.
No, I think I would know how many children I have.
It doesn't work with girls when you do that joke.
No, it doesn't. I have a 12-year-old son and an 18-year-old daughter. My question is, can I buy an annuity for both of them, or am I restricted to only one?
No.
Well,
no.
Go ahead, Ed.
No, you go, Donnie. You're more eloquent of a speaker when it comes to things like this.
I don't think so.
I'll be quiet. I promise.
However, there's a minimum age of 18 to have an annuity. So your older child can have one right now since she's 18. Your son Aiden cannot because he's too young.
Okay.
And it's you got to be very careful on that too, because depending on the carrier, they might go by the insurance rule of 17 and a half, being 6 months before your birthday, you're actually that age. And it's different for a lot of the different companies that I have worked with in the past.
Okay.
What is the limit, Donnie? Do we know that of how old you can be?
Oh, so you can, depends on the carrier. So a little real basic information, annuities are only offered through life insurance companies. And so each company might have slightly different policies as far as age limits. but they all begin at age 18. You can get an annuity up until, for most carriers, either age 80 or age 85, where you're still eligible to fund an annuity.
Okay, awesome. And then talking about funding, I have two different questions about funding. Big thing, everybody's in cryptocurrency nowadays. So can I use cryptocurrency to fund an annuity?
To my knowledge, as of today, there are no insurance companies that would accept the actual cryptocurrency to fund it. However, if somebody does have some form of cryptocurrency and they kind of cash it in for traditional cash, then they can fund the annuity with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's funny because me and Donnie were talking about this morning before the episode, and I did send him an article that said Bitcoin and annuities, how can we revitalize their poor value? And you know, annuities are really strong right now. So for the heck of it, Donnie, I was looking, and this is very dated information. This was dated February 12th of 2022.
Mm.
So yes, probably at that time that was the case, but now you're going into a very strong annuity market, especially when you're on the fixed annuities, because a lot of the bigger ones, and even some of the little guys that aren't big like the big three, they're very competitive right now. You know, I some of them I've seen as high as 12.25 with no basement and no ceiling, meaning that if it goes low, you're still getting the 12.5. If it goes high, you're going to get that too. But I did start seeing that some of them are actually having a basement but no ceiling, meaning they'll pick a certain rate that they will be devalued to, and then it won't go lower than that. Because I mean, just last year we were looking at one product me and Donnie used to work with all the time, and that was lights out. It was fantastic. And I think everybody else is coming along, because I was quite happily surprised when I sold my last annuity to a customer because the way it performed. And there's so much more freedom on annuities now, meaning it used to be, okay, Sarah, you're putting in $100,000. You ain't touching it. You're done. You want to touch it, you could get penalized up to 40%. 40%. Holy cow. I mean, I think they did it because they don't want you to do that. But now a lot of the products, not only can you keep on funding it if you like the way it's performing, and you can keep on rolling it over at the end of the annuity if that's what you want to do, but a lot of the bigger companies, smaller ones, are starting to come along where you can actually take out 10% a year of what you invested without penalty.
Well, and that leads to my other question that I'm going to go to after I ask this next question about funding, because you want to answer my questions before I get to them, sir. Can you use life insurance dividends to pay for funding an annuity?
That's an interesting question, because you cannot have dividends from a life insurance policy go directly into an annuity. However, you can select the option to receive the cash dividend, and then however you use that money, once you receive that cash dividend, you can use that to fund an annuity. But you
Okay.
can't have it directly transfer from the whole life policy to the annuity. However, you can have an annuity fund a whole life insurance policy. So you can have the payments go directly to a policy once it's established. So,
Okay, so what I'm
It's
hearing
crazy.
is everything has to be funded by cash and normal methods. You can't use the alternatives. I'm assuming cryptocurrency is just more of it's too volatile of a market.
well, I think the insurance companies aren't quite sure how to handle that yet. So,
Okay.
and of course, the annuity and insurance industry is extremely regulated. So
Yes.
they don't want to kind of like step a little bit out of bounds and get slapped with fines or anything. So,
Especially in one state, Don. I wonder what state that is.
yeah, it's probably not Texas.
It's not Texas. It's our home state, New York.
Our home
Yeah.
state of New York. Yeah,
Whatever
extremely.
everybody else can do, like a couple years later, it seems we get to do it in
Yes.
the
Yeah.
Well,
world,
it's funny
you know?
because the longer I work in accounting, and whether it's doing bookkeeping, accounting, controller, or even tax services, I'm making a list of states that I never want to personally work in. Yeah. That it's just a checklist. Okay, not that state, not that state. Oh, they changed this rule, not that state. It's just, oh my
Well, for the
goodness.
longest time, I would refuse to work in Florida because for a while, and I guess they're changing it, Don, that you would have to have an insurance license for the state of Florida. And then whatever county you wanted to work in, you had to pay a fee to work in that county too. But it sounds like little by little, they're getting rid of that, Don.
I think they are changing that in Florida.
Especially with you were living in Florida for a short time. Did you look into that at all for yourself while you were a resident?
Yeah, I did, but and at the time it did ask me what counties I wanted to do business in.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I know that they were looking to potentially change it, but I don't think anything's been done yet.
Was it an astronomical? Okay, we're boring Sarah with our insurance.
Whatever, I
Uh,
need more
Annuities.
coffee. This
Yeah.
is not a boring conversation. It's very entertaining.
So no, I look, no, it was not very expensive. Less than $100.
But it just, I mean, and it's funny when we talk about licensing all over the country, it's all over the place.
Mhm.
I mean, some states are as low as $15, and the good old state of Massachusetts is over what, $555 or something crazy like that.
Is it? Yeah, it's
Mhm.
that is crazy if that's how much it is.
Yeah. But it's pretty reasonably priced. Texas and what they charge in New York are pretty much neck and neck there. It's just a
Yeah,
lot
it
easier
is.
to do business in Texas than it is in New York, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
CPAs and engineers always had the same issue. They'd have to go take tests and get licensed in every single state they wanted to work in.
Mhm.
And if I remember correctly, they were trying to see about getting rid of the additional state, like testing, if you have an active license elsewhere, or creating that network. One thing though is, since each state is so different, I understand why you have to take those tests, because
Mhm.
it's, each state is different. It's all
Yeah.
over the place.
That's very true.
I
So
mean,
back to
even though-
annuities.
Back
What's
to
that?
annuities.
I said
Yeah,
back
go
to
ahead.
annuities.
Yeah, and he
And
just wants
You
to
questions.
guys
keep
always
taking us
get
off the
distracted.
side,
I don't know what your problem is.
sir. You're the problem.
You is the
Anyways,
problem.
you
Yes.
is the
And
problem.
you is very educated. Let me tell you what.
Yes. So the other question is, with annuities, you guys mentioned now it's changed where you can take up to 10% out each year.
Depending on the
Let's,
carrier, Sarah.
right. Depending on, let's say I put in $500,000 in an annuity, is there a time frame that I have to wait before I can start drawing out that 10% with those specific carriers? Or is it like, as soon as I fund it, okay, now I can start withdrawing money?
It depends on what type of annuity you're
Right.
getting. So if you want to, if the idea is to put in $500,000 and start drawing income off of that annuity immediately, you get a immediate annuity. So you have to wait 30 days to receive your first payment.
Okay.
If you have a deferred annuity, that's where you're trying to build up a nice annuity, so you have a nice accumulation in there. You go through the accumulation period, and then down the road, if you want to utilize it as part of your retirement, then you can start withdrawing. So there's different types of annuities:
Okay.
immediate, deferred.
And so with the deferred, is there different time frames? So like deferred 3 years, 5 years, 10 years?
Yes, there are,
Okay.
and it really varies by carrier.
Mhm.
The most common are 3, 5, 7, 8, and 10 year.
Okay.
But again, it varies by carrier.
Donnie,
But
that
you
one
can-
annuity I wrote last week, they have an option where you can do over 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Which I thought was kind of interesting, up to,
That is
I
interesting.
think it was
That's
like
different.
15. That's the highest I've ever seen. I'm sure there's more out there that we don't know about because there's so many companies in this market right now.
Right.
And like I said, I like the safeness of the fixed annuities, variable annuities. little bit shy of, just because a lot of them are directly attributed to the performance of the stocks that they're used in their mutual funds and that. Man, I would rather have, give me a fixed rate that, like I said, no basement, no ceiling. And if it does have a basement, I want to make sure that it's not going to go to zero, because a lot of other companies I've looked at, I mean, when I started out in the business, you were lucky to get 3 to 5%. But their basement was like 0.01.
Yeah.
And thank goodness we weren't in the business in 2008. But if things get bad again, I can see a lot of people with variable. This is my opinion. I can see a lot of people with variable annuities getting hurt.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you want somebody that's going to fly by the seat of their pants, when I was younger, I probably would do it. But now I've seen too many people through our experience, do well and not do well, depending on the product that they are actually advised to purchase. So, like I said, high risk, high reward. I get that. I totally do. That's why so many younger people do like the Bitcoin. And the rule of thumb with Bitcoin is that you put it in there for a while. I mean, there's so many people shorting it, meaning, say you're going to put $500,000 in today and then take it out in a day or two. You're going to roll that dice, see if you're going to make money or not make money. And I got to tell you, I always hear about the people that are making money. You never hear about when they're losing money on the Bitcoin. So, and that's just like anything. I'm just like a gambler. Oh, I won $3,500. You don't know how much they had to pay to get that $3,500.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
10,000 maybe.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, I see it more on the back end where they tell me more because they want to make sure if it's something that can be added to their taxes. I had Bitcoin once. I'll say that I bit the bullet and tried investing, and then I think it was only like $40. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm done with this. Like, I'm tired of it. And I pulled my money out. I still have a penny in there. It was so volatile when I was selling. I got stuck with a penny. And I'm like, I don't want the penny. Can I write off the penny? I don't just ignore that. I had to add more money to withdraw again. And it's like, oh my God, what is it going to be next time? Half a penny? Like, it's just the volatile nature of it. I like predictability. I want to see trends. I want to be able to see, are you decreasing? Because I know things happen that are outside of the control, and there may be a dip when it was supposed to go up, but just being able to have that trend, to me, annuities make more sense because of that, because it's more fixed.
Yeah, I was to say, it sounds like more of a fixed annuity makes more sense for you.
Yeah.
You're very low risk investor, so that would be perfect for you.
Yeah. I learned early on, I think I told Eddie this. So I learned how to gamble, like play poker when I was a kid. I always got the best hands when there were no bets on the table. It didn't matter if the bets were chores, pennies, dollars. Anytime there was a bet on the table, I got the crappiest hands and I always lost. So I've just learned, don't gamble. That's just not
what was
something God
that
wants
thing?
for me. So I just stay out of it.
What game did you learn how to play?
Poker.
I've always wanted to try that. Can we play this weekend?
Oh, really?
Can we bring
Sure.
money?
But I don't play for money or chores or anything else. I just play for fun.
Your mind out of the gutter, Donnie Lowe. Come on, Professor Lowe.
She's
Quit. Oh my God.
she's
Anyways.
protecting herself.
Yes.
Good job, Sarah.
Thank you.
So what? Any more annuity questions? Or are you good there,
I
customer?
think I'm good. Knowing about the different annuities, how you can fund them, the age requirements. I think that's very helpful. Not just for myself, but for the listeners as well, which is great.
So I got to tell you, because Donnie got it this morning too. I forgot that you're with them on that group. The one group we worked with, we got an email today. You have like a contest for annuities. Guess where the winner goes? Yes, Tina. I'm talking about your company. Yes, Tina Owens. I am. So what is the prize? Go ahead, tell them, Donnie.
I didn't look at the prize. I didn't
You
look at the
didn't?
email yet. No.
Space Camp.
Space Camp, that's
Oh.
right. It was in the subject line. That's That's cool.
I'm sure people think I'm from outer space sometimes anyway, so that kind of fits.
Yes,
know?
yes, you definitely
So-
are not like everybody else.
But please know that we don't offer an annuity to go to a space camp.
We
have to
are
do
the
what's best
Dons.
for
We are the
client.
Sarahs.
Yes, I will say, because Eddie was telling me about the annuity that he was looking for his clients, that they closed last week. And he's like, oh my God, this has this much of a return. And it was awesome because he was even saying it's less of a commission, but it's better for my clients. And I would buy products from you guys, which I think is awesome.
These guys. She knows some guys.
Yes, because it's hard to know the right people to buy from.
Yeah.
They can act like they will do the right thing, but behind closed doors they won't.
Well, I always say this, and Donnie's heard me say it before. If you do a good job for your client and you advise them to purchase something that they need and is good for their family, the money will come. I mean, it's been a wonderful career for me and Donnie, and it's going to continue to be that way. But yeah, if you're in this business just to make fast cash, you're not going to last very long.
No,
I've
that's
seen
true.
people burn out.
And
Or-
it's even if to advise somebody, you know what, you really don't need this. Don't purchase it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've come across some people who were trying to force it, and even the client's like, no, I don't want it. And that's when it's just like you get the ick factor. It's like, I guarantee, I know you want this to happen. They're saying no, and it's their money.
That's right.
I mean, more times than often, my clients ask me, should I do this, Eddie? And if I was, a dirty person that just wanted the money, I'd say, oh yeah, get more.
right.
But like I said, I want to be in this business for a long time. And if you do a good job, the money's just going to come, and you're going to have a long career. And what did Chris always say? Oh, a referral is my best compliment. Because a lot of times people talk about us all the time. And even, I even see this with the podcast. I mean, we've started to have a lot of people reach out to us when they see the numbers that we're getting on it. I mean, what was that? That was your show, Taco Tuesday show. We had 1.8 million, which is, to me, I'm incredulous about this. Poor Donnie fell on the floor. We had to call the rescue squad for him.
I mean, that is a lot.
If I got to give you mouth to mouth, I'm letting you go, kid.
No, that's fine.
He had a good run.
Let me go.
Good run. Good thing I'm not in Buffalo, Donnie. You're a dead man. But it goes back to how we end all our shows. If you like working with people that are like you, like-minded, and you want a good job done for you and your family in your time of need, we're the people to come see. You can reach us at www.ebiagency.com. Our phone numbers are listed. Yeah, we talked to a internet guy yesterday, or a podcast guy, and he didn't like that our names and our information.
Whatever he said, he can make it look more professional. You need to stop. And you
I might be a salesman. Donnie's not. What did you say you were? You were an advisor.
You also put in an extra digit in your number. Just saying. That's what you get. Just for our people listening.
That's not my number. 5441411. I got one of them new numbers. I pay extra.
You got a little excited when you were putting in your number. So we're basically looking for people who want to audit or edit the podcast, making it look slightly more professional. We like the interaction we have.
That's what I'd say. That's like saying, hey, your kid's dumb. I don't like your kid.
No,
I don't like
the things they were
look.
mentioning were not like that, you weirdo. Jesus.
So we're gonna wrap it up here. And Sarah, remember, you gotta actually stop it, because
I'm waiting for you to stop
today,
talking.
folks.
I'm just saying.
So for Sassy Sarah, your buddy Donnie Lowe, Professor Lowe. You got me today, Donnie. Yes. And for your buddy Eddie Buffalo, until we talk again, everybody stay safe and have a wonderful weekend. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.